Hey, this is Mr. Peterson. This screencast is about the process of meiosis. So I'm going to go into some details and show you some real pictures of what happens in meiosis in real cells. If you remember, meiosis takes the diploid number of chromosomes and reduces it to the haploid number. So when fertilization occurs, so here's a picture of fertilization again. There's that sperm cell in the middle that's won the race and is going to fertilize this ovum. When fertilization occurs, we can make a new set of cells that are diploid. So haploid cells produced in meiosis. So meiosis goes through a couple of different rounds. And so you can see some things that are important. It produces genetically identical cells. It results in haploid, which means it's cut the chromosome number in half. It only takes place at certain times during an organism's lifespan. So if you think about organisms that reproduce sexually, flowers, for example, plants only flower at certain times during the year. Mammals, dogs only come into heat in estrus certain times during the year. Humans ovulate once a month. So it only takes place at certain time during an organism's lifespan. And meiosis is involved in sexual reproduction. Got to produce those haploid cells, so when those combine, it makes diploid cells. Important stuff, homologous chromosomes. And that's going to be separating. So here's some homologous chromosomes. They're similar but not identical. So where do these come from? They come from your mom and from your dad. So this green one and then this blue one or purple, I'm not sure because I'm colorblind, remember. So we've got these homologous chromosomes. Notice they're the same size and the same shape. They also have, it doesn't show this, but they have the same genes. And so what happens is that those pairs of homologs, pairs of homologous chromosomes, get separated in the first division. And then the sister chromatids, the centromeres, replicate and they get separated in the second cellular division in meiosis II. So just a kind of a heads up. All right, so here's meiosis I. So I'm going to start with some animations and then get to some pictures. So prophase I. What happens in prophase I? The chromosomes condense. They've already replicated, right? That happened in S of an interphase. They pair up and they form something called a tetrad. Tetrad just means that the four chromatids are really close together and intertwined. Then we might have some crossing over. So notice that there's a little bit of, if you look closely, if you want to pause and look closely, the sister chromatids have actually come in contact with one another and they're going to flip-flop some genetic material. So we're going to zoom in on a pair of homologous chromosomes. So here's an actual picture of it, a prophase chromosome. And notice that they're going to exchange some genetic material in prophase, and that's called crossing over. Metaphase, homologous chromosomes line up in the middle, and then they get pulled apart. You can really see the evidence of crossing over in those chromatids now, where the blue chromosome has some red on it. That came from the red chromosome, and the red chromosome has some blue on it. It goes through a short telophase. Not going to be any DNA replication in this if we jump into an interphase. And then we jump into, here's some meiosis pictures. So here are the chromosomes starting to coil, condense, not lined up in the middle. So this is still prophase. They're still what would you call that? They're lined up in the middle. So in this case, the homologous chromosomes are lining up side by side. Then they get pulled to the poles. They're separated, the homologous chromosomes. Chromatids haven't been separated in meiosis I, so just the homologous pairs. And then here's a quick look at a telophase cell. Then we jump into meiosis II. So meiosis II is a different kind of cell division. There's a real short interphase. DNA is not replicated, but it's still the chromosomes kind of coil up in prophase. In metaphase, they line up on the equatorial plate. But now let's take a look at this. Looks a lot like mitosis because the chromosomes are lining up, and we're going to see that the centromeres split, the chromatids are separate. That's a mouthful of stuff. So again, the the chromatids separate in meiosis II. And then we wind up with a short telophase, and here's the product. So now we've got the sister chromatids have been separated, and instead of having 4 chromosomes, we're down to 2. So the homologous pairs and the chromatids have separated at the end of meiosis. So if we look at side by side, and we've talked about this a little bit already. So mitosis produces genetically identical clones. It produces clones. Meiosis, unique cells. Mitosis results in diploid. Meiosis results in haploid. Mitosis happens all the time throughout the lifetime of an organism for a variety of reasons. Growth, repair, those kinds of things. Meiosis only happens at certain times during an organism's life cycle. Mitosis involved in asexual reproduction, and meiosis involved in sexual reproduction. So those haploid cells, those haploid gametes, the process of fertilization, when they combine 2 haploids, make a diploid. Whew, that was a mouthful of stuff. So, the process of meiosis. Hope that helps.